Well, hello. Welcome to my reading space. My name's Michelle. I'm an oracle, and today I wanted to share one of my favorite readings with you today. I offer a wide variety of readings, one on ones, but this particular reading is one of my favorites. As a reader, if you're an intuitive, if you're a guidance person, on the one hand, I love it because it helps me flex different psychic muscles. And on the other hand, I love to hear the story that is coming out for the person that we're pulling out a story for. But today I wanted to share this past life reading with you. I don't know how it's going to work. I understand how it works when I'm one on one with someone, but I figured I would just treat my camera as the customer, as the client, as the person who's getting the reading. And so it's just going to be for you. Now, when I do a past life reading, what's happening is your soul or the energy that is filling up your meat suit, that energy that is you, that thing comes forward and opens up the encyclopedia of its existence. I only focus on human, I only focus on earth, and I, right now, am only focused on time periods that we understand. I don't give specific times yet. I don't give specific locations yet, but I can tell a story about a particular past life that your soul, your energy field, whatever you feel you are, experienced before on planet Earth as a human. I know all that makes sense, so I'm not going to over explain myself. But all I need you to do, if you're interested in hearing this past life story, go ahead and find somewhere comfortable and sit down as if you're about to hear a story. Remember when mom or dad used to tell us a story before we'd go to bed, or our teachers would tell us a story, or we would just hear someone read a book or a passage and how good that felt? That's kind of the energy of this reading. So, wherever you are right now, just make sure you're comfortable, that you're grounded, and I want you to open up your heart and open up your mind. I don't need to convince you of anything, and you don't need to believe anything, but sit back and I want you to experience your own energy, possibly giving you a story about another time it's been here. I hope it resonates. I hope you feel something, and I hope you enjoy the story. Okay, are you settled? Are you ready for the story time? Because I am. I'm going to go ahead and start talking about this character and this life. This is another lifetime where you were incarnated as a human that was in a male body. Our souls don't have a particular preference. We come in as what we come in as. But this particular lifetime, we are embodied in a male body. Right away, he is letting me know he had a disability, an ailment. For some reason, he's in a wheelchair type of situation. But what's funny about this guy's energy is he's telling me, even though I was in a wheelchair, you might call me disabled, the vibe of this person and the attitude of this person is a can do attitude. He was incredibly intelligent. He himself loved to read. I have an energy, and he's showing me he's surrounded by books. So, it could be, it feels like maybe his mom was either a librarian or a writer herself. There is something that he's pointing out to me, that the reason why he's such a good reader, that he knows he's intelligent and that he's surrounded by books, he's giving credit to his human mother. So either she's a teacher or a writer or a librarian. So, but his attitude right out the gate was, my human, it looks like from about the time he was 4 or 5, he was in a situation where he couldn't use, it feels like underneath his armpits all the way down to the rest of his body. He's not really telling me why. he was in this situation. He's kind of coughing. It might have been connected to some kind of childhood ailment that took out the use of his body. I'm not a doctor, so when they tell me the story, it's hard for me to understand. But he is kind of showing a situation where he had movement here. He could use this, thank God, right? And he had a brain. He had functioning brain, very high intelligence, and he's kind of expressing he was good looking. So let's go ahead and talk about his childhood. When we do start talking about his childhood, he's letting me know that he is an only child. I'm not sure where father is, but when I ask for mother and father to come forward, the only person that's coming forward for him is a mom. When I ask about dad, dad might have been some kind of soldier or warrior because it looks like mom and dad were married, and it looks like she was pregnant and he went off to battle, because that's what we do with men. So he went off to battle dad, and it looks like dad didn't come back. Um, it really affected mom. Like he's showing his mother really hurting, and being alone. They really are solitary. I'm not sure what his mom's story is of why she doesn't have a whole lot of family surrounding. But he's like, it was her and me. And then again, it doesn't look like he got sick. He looks like a normal, healthy, fat, chubby baby. Very happy. He started laughing very early. He was an early walker, an early crawler, and an early reader, talker. But again, it looks like some kind of ailment. He either got some kind of illness and it took over his body, and he was no longer to use that lower half. It's about age 4 or 5. It's probably more 5. It was difficult on mother. Mom always felt some kind of guilt, always some kind of yearning. That mother is very heavy in his story. So that was a big part of your soul's experience when it was as this man, was to be there for mother. Mother does have a very melancholy type of vibe, and he himself is very positive. He's really hopeful. He never really had a woe is me, but it looks like his mother did. And so, him pivoting and focusing so much on this story, I just kind of already know your soul came and incarnated, to be there for mother, not as a stand in. He's being very clear. He was very much his own person. He was incredibly independent, but he knew he was there emotionally. He's a very mature soul. This is a very mature soul coming in as this male. So he was very much her cheerleader, her confidant, someone that she leaned on. She's not toxic or anything. She's just really sad and alone. Um, you can probably imagine, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? And then you have this child who is naturally hopeful, naturally positive, authentically caring and independent, and he's male. So again, a very mature lifetime and story. It looks like he was very social and playful, but very much times of isolation. He loved to study. He was incredibly curious. He's a very good artist. Drawer is what he's calling himself, a drawer. So like someone who likes to sketch stuff, see something, and they put it right to paper. He is very social. He has a great sense of humor, very funny. He must be Sagittarius because he's kind of letting me know if he thought it, he said it, it would happen. Um, he's repeating that. If I thought it, I said it, it would happen. So he must be Sagittarius because those are the magicians. So he must have a birthday somewhere around right now. So very funny that we're opening up our soul book and our soul wants to tell us this story about the time when your soul got to play this character. Very interesting. Again, he's showing a lot of relationship with mom, but it's because he's letting me know that made him comfortable with everybody. He's showing he could talk to anyone, regardless of his. It's not even a disability. Like I said, that wasn't even a term, I think, that was ever put in his head or programmed around him. He just saw it as this is how it is. I still can use this, and I've got a whopper of ideas and curiosities, and he was a very fast learner. You showed him one time and he knew what he was doing. I feel there is a sadness coming. Mother did pass away. He's showing somewhere around his age of about 20. So he was kind of young. Mom looks like he's showing her heartbreak. She died of a heartbreak. What it is, she was sad, didn't take care of herself. She didn't eat right, sleep right, talk to herself right. So it just like her body kind of I don't want to say it consumed itself, but maybe that was a time of consumption, so maybe that's what happened. But if you're not eating and you're not sleeping and taking care of yourself as mother, I understand her sadness, but that wasn't being addressed. So of course he's telling me she died of a broken heart, she wasted away. He does have a sadness with that, but again, since the character you played in this lifetime was so strong. He's so persistent and very resilient. He's just showing that as something that he overcame. He has a widespread of family, like chosen family is what we would call it now, because these are not blood relatives that he has around here. Again, remember, it doesn't feel like there was any support for mom or him, but because he was so social, because he's so curious, also he's a very good teacher, it looks like he has a great social circle, so he wasn't alone or feeling a grief that he didn't feel supported in. He really loves his friends. He loves that chosen family. He's got a handful of people that he really trusts himself with. He's very creative. He's very romantic. Again, very smart. I kind of am asking him about love and partnership. He's not focused on finding a partner. He is, again, when your soul came in as this lifetime that we're talking about here, it was evolved as far as like being able to detach and just stick to the purpose and the destiny, because he's not hyper occupied with finding a partner. He doesn't feel any kind of loneliness or abandonment. And it's so funny because his human story is totally showing that he could have taken it that way. But again, his authentic spirit is very golden. So he's very, pliable, flexible. It's not that he doesn't care, it's just that he doesn't get stuck. He's got a lot to learn and he knows it. Um, so when it comes to love, he says he loved everybody because he felt loved by everyone. There is a couple muses in his life, a couple females that really did stop his heart for a minute. He's kind of saying, again, he's very romantic. So he's kind of addressing that. But as far as like marriage and having children, it feels like that's something, I don't know if it's physical, maybe he couldn't. I don't know. He's just kind of telling me and never really got married, never really looked into having kids. He was surrounded by people until his death. As far as his profession, he's kind of telling me, what didn't I do? Like, that's his kind of attitude. What didn't he do? He spent his life kind of going to the profession or the job that felt in the moment for him. One of his favorite things that he's highlighting is a time when he was a teacher. Apparently, he did teach people how to read. So he's showing adults and children. So he wasn't like a school teacher, he was a teacher who like would help people read. Again, he's showing that library, and I'm hoping we get around to why. I don't know if he's a writer, but I digress. He's showing that that's one of his favorite chapters of his life and jobs that he held. Another job that he had that he loved, he's working with some metal. I don't know what kind of metal. He's like bending something. I don't know. It's not strength training, but he's definitely like bending metal. It's very upper body intensive. It's a very hot place. So I don't know if he's doing like iron work or something like that. That was another good phase. He's like, I went and did that and learned from someone who was very professional at it. And again, he was such a social butterfly. It looks like he did that until he met someone else who, oh, well, let me go try that. It's kind of cool to think of a man who is that free in his heart to take whatever job, right? Because most men are told they got to stay there for 80 years. They need to get that 401k. You've got, you need to get tenure. Is there so much pressure on men? And this guy is like, I was free. I went and did this and I learned how to do this, and these guys were awesome. And then I met that and got that opportunity. So I went, hell yeah, let me go do that. And then he got to do that. And he's in a wheelchair under a concept of limitation. And he's showing me his life was not limited at all. There are a couple children. Although he didn't father any children, it looks like he's kind of present day showing me like a big brother, big sister type stuff. He had a lot of youngsters. He's showing that lost their parents. He has an affection for them. Those are the kids that he's teaching like life lessons to. He's showing kids how to do stuff because they didn't have parents to teach them how to do stuff. Again, that's a part of his life he's incredibly proud of. And he's, again, showing that he didn't lose out on anything simply because he was in a wheelchair and had this concept of maybe you can't, or he needed to get married or have someone. He had a lot of people. He is showing this change, that mom and sadness and father and despair and such chaos, and he took his sickness and all of this as an opportunity to really lay into this, into his brain, into his curiosity, and he allowed his life to take him wherever he needed to go. Again, I don't know why I'm obsessed about asking him, but did you have anyone in particular? No, he had these, again, two muses, two women in his life that really he felt romantic about, but everything else in his life is what he was in love with, including his own life. He is showing me death. It happened somewhere around 72, 73 years old. And he's telling me he wasn't supposed to live that long. And he's kind of chuckling. I wasn't supposed to live that long, but he made it that far. Very good health. But whatever, yeah, I don't know, it could be a heart thing because all of a sudden I'm getting a flutter and a feeling like a stopping. So maybe, we all choose to pass away the way we pass away, and it looks like it was just time's up. It did take him by surprise too. Some people, before they pass away, they see it coming, they feel it coming. They'll start saying their goodbyes. He's like, he really was taken by surprise, but no regrets, no lasting. Nobody has regrets after they leave this place. Trust me, all guilt and shame is ab- ab- obliterated, is forgiven, it's given away. So he has no regrets here. He had a great time and loved his life, and that's the story that your soul wanted you to hear today. And it's why I recorded this video. I wanted to share again with anybody who watches this, the past lives reading service that I offer. There's a million stories I could tell all day long. And it would just be a small fraction of the possible lifetimes that your soul has already lived. So it's really interesting to open this up, let it go into you, let your imagination play with it, let your spirit connect to you, and then, maybe have some compassion, understanding, definitely a walk in someone else's shoes, even though they're your shoes. But I hope you enjoyed this reading, this session. If you would like to, excuse me, getting the hiccups all of a sudden, if you would like to experience more, get a hold of me. You can email me at michelletheoracle@gmail.com, or you can reach out here on whatever social media you find me on. This video is going to be on my YouTube, so if you want to message me here, email me, find me on any social media, Facebook, Instagram. I don't do TikTok, but I'm on those things. Um, and let's get together and have a one-on-one. Again, this is one of many one-on-one sessions that I can have. I just really felt led to share that story with you from this amazing man, this amazing character, this wonderful soul of yours that had this experience as a once in a lifetime as this male who was so positive and so helpful and encouraging and social and out there and attentive yet independent man. And that beautiful story of his commitment to help and assist his mother through her sadness. Just an amazing story. So I thank you guys so much for joining me today and for letting me tell you this story. Get at me if you'd like to hear any more. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope the holidays are being very abundant and loving to you and all the people that you love. Take care. Peace.